Good evening, good day, everybody. My name is Albert Tam from Download Silo. On my left, you have this Yash from ClientJoy. How are you, Yash?
I'm doing great here. How are you, Albert?
Yeah, I'm doing good also. So after the what I call Black Friday, Cyber Monday season, everything seems to
Yeah.
come down. So it's good to actually do some what I call learning about how to attract customer. And
Mhm.
today's topic is actually skyrocketing our lead generation for your business. So guys, before we actually start this webinar with Yas, let's just do some housekeeping as usual. Let me project this up. Okay, so guys, please click this link wave.video/live/Facebook so that we can know who you are when you comment in our chat with your photo as well as your name. So if that is the case, let me check the live chat over here. I think we have few guys already. Oh, Daniel Croft, Sujit Biswas, Aponam Nguyen. So guys, if you can see us and hear us with no problem, with somebody, please type in the chat so that we know that everybody is on a good page, so that we don't be talking to what they call a wall. Sometimes we have been talking for a few minutes, but when we realize that we are actually not heard by the audience.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yes. So before we actually start, I would like to talk about a little bit about this ClientJoy webinar series that we have. I think this is the fourth one that we are having, and today's topic is actually skyrocketing lead generation for your business. So we are happy to have a CEO of this ClientJoy, Yas, with us to share with us his experience as well as his experience with using ClientJoy to actually do lead generation, as general. So, yes, are you ready? If you are ready, then we can actually start straight away. But before we start, maybe we should ask you some simple question again because I
Sure.
noticed that you might have some people who are first time here that have not
Yeah.
seen you before. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's do the necessary. So
Yeah.
yes, can you tell us where are you from and why do you want to start up this ClientJoy?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So, hi everyone. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you, Albert, for having me. And my name is Yash, and I'm co-founder and chief executive at ClientJoy. I'm based out of Ahmedabad, which is a city in India. And we've got an amazing team of 18 people who are working on ClientJoy as well as LinkJoy. And so all of us are trying to essentially, we ourselves used to be an IT agency. We grew it from a two people team to a 55 people team. Started facing some challenges and then tried figuring out different ways of solving those challenges, which is some things that I'll talk about in the presentation as well. But the goal that we are on is to help a million agencies and freelancers grow, fulfill, and earn. Right. So that's primarily what we're after. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me, about what we're trying to do at ClientJoy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Yes. So without further ado, we should actually go into the Facebook Live proper. How
Mhm.
to actually skyrocket lead generation for our business. So please,
Sure. I've just shared my screen. Are you
yes, we
able
are
to see my
seeing the
screen?
screen. Yeah, we are seeing your screen now.
Perfect. Awesome. So we'll talk about how can agencies and freelancers generate more leads, right? That's primarily what we're here to talk about. And so before I, talk about how you can actually do that, the important aspect that I should share with you is a little bit about me, right? So I did mechanical engineering and then I worked as an investment banker before starting, as I shared with you, an IT service company with my co-founder Anupama. And so I would go out and bring in clients. I'd try and do sales and growth, and Anupama would fulfill those projects. And then slowly and gradually, the two of us were not enough, and so we started growing the team, and we grew it from two people to 15 to 20 to 35 to 55. So the agency also, we scaled it from offering website development services to building web and mobile applications across SaaS, fintech, and e-commerce. We ended up building about 23 odd SaaS products as a part of that process as well. Won a couple of awards during that process, and currently I run ClientJoy, which is a B2B SaaS product. ClientJoy helps over 4,000 agencies and 9,000 freelancers in 90 plus countries, manage about 1.8 million deals each month, about 76,000 clients every month, and helps them collect about $25 million in payments each month. And so ClientJoy does that by offering them by visual sales pipeline with email and scheduler. You can e-sign your documents, which are proposals, estimates, quotes, and contracts. You can get paid on time with automated reminders and invoices that go with payment links. You can create subscriptions and recurring invoices. You can manage your clients with a completely custom client portal, and you get more than 3,000 odd integrations. ClientJoy integrates with Zapier, Pabbly, Integromat, Integrately, Sync Spider, and connects it as well. We've got a couple of badges from G2, an average rating of 4.8 on 5 on Google, Capterra, Trustpilot, and we are a preferred payment partner with Payoneer, PayPal, and Stripe. And so that was a little about me and ClientJoy, and the reason why I make it a point. So this is my third appearance in this community, and the reason why I make it a point to talk a little bit about me and ClientJoy is I fundamentally believe that in business there are no laws, there are always principles, and principles apply are fairly different in different geographies, different cultures, different backgrounds, different industries, different at a different time, and so on and so forth. So whatever I'm about to say, some of them are evergreen, but some of them applied for me when we were running our agency and trying to grow and trying to scale. And so a little bit of introduction around what my journey has been and what ClientJoy is trying to do today is there to help you get some amount of context to put whatever I'm about to say into that context, right? And so here's what we are going to talk about today. We'll answer the question: do you need more leads? We'll talk about some of the things that you need to be ready before starting to generate leads. What are some of the lead generation activities that you could do? Some key hacks, and then I've got some free resources for you towards the end of the session, and then we could do a Q&A as well. So do hang around. And so let's talk about lead generation, right? Because most agencies do not realize that offering good services is a necessary condition, and it's not a sufficient one for your agency or freelancing practice to succeed. So this is a mistake that I made when I started my agency, and this is a mistake that I see a lot of freelancers and agencies, early stage agency founders make, is that they think that if they're offering great services at a reasonable cost, then they would get more business. And it may make a little amount of sense when you think that, because these are good services, your clients are happy and they should be talking about you. But what's important, and what's one of the things that people miss out on, is that everybody is the center of their own universes, right? So from your standpoint, you are offering great services, but from client's standpoint, from client's perspective, the great services are supposed to be there because they are paying you for it, right? And so you have to deploy some amount of lead generation activities apart from offering good services at a reasonable price. And so if you think that keeping your head down and doing work for your clients, and then maintaining healthy client relationships, while it is an important aspect of running an agency and it is a necessary condition, but it is not sufficient to help you grow, to help you grow your agency or grow your freelancing practice, get better clients, get better rates, make more money in the process, and get more fulfilling work in process as well. Right? And so that's another thing that I want to start off with, right? So as an agency owner or a freelancer, you have to be, apart from offering good services at a reasonable cost, you also have to be a good salesperson. You have to be a formidable problem solver. You have to be a disciplined finance person, and you also have to be an inspirational team leader, right? And so you've got to do all of these 4 or 5 things that are ancillary, and only then would you be able to build a great agency or a great freelancing practice for yourself, right? And so now let's answer the question: do you even need more leads? The intuitive answer is yes. Everybody wants more leads, everybody needs more leads, and that is why there are more than, I think, 9 million tools that exist out there in the world that help you with sales acceleration, sales enablement, and getting you more leads, and so on and so forth. However, you may want, when like given us a moment, you may want to think about that a little bit, because most agencies or most freelancing practice, so services company by definition, has is limited by the amount of resources that they have, right? So you can only work on so many concurrent projects at your agency, right? So let's say if you're offering website development as a service, or if you're offering digital marketing as a service, or SEO as a service, and if you have a 10 people team, then you can work only on 3 projects or 5 projects at once. You are limited not by the size of the market, you are limited not by the number of leads that you're generating, but you're limited by the number of people that you have, the 10 people, the fulfillment people that you have. And so it's important to realize that if you start generating more leads, and more leads in the sales pipeline would mean that there are more resources that are invested into qualification of those leads. More time is spent on scoping and understanding clients' requirements, and then figuring out and negotiating and writing proposals and then sending those out. So, a significant amount of time investment that you'll have to do once you start generating more leads. So, you should look at maintaining some amount of balance where you actually are not just blindly trying to generate more leads, you are trying to generate more leads in a predictable fashion, so that the amount of leads that you're generating are in balance with the amount of people that you have who will be able to fulfill the projects that you actually end up closing. And so you've got to be mindful of this as well. And so those are the two key things that I wanted to say before I get into generating leads. One being then offering good services is a necessary condition but not a sufficient one. And two, you don't want to just blindly start generating leads. You want to generate predictable leads and then maintain balance between the scaling of the agency that you have and the number of leads that you're generating from the market. Now let's talk about lead generation, right? So 3 key things before generating SQLs, or what we call as sales qualified leads, is clarity, processes, and assets. So let's look at all 3 of them. So number 1 is give clarity to your team. If you don't have a sales team, give clarity to yourself, because a lot of times what you would also have found yourself in position is that when you're talking to a particular prospect, and so you're doing a meeting and it's going great, and you've spoken to the prospect for about half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever the case may be, after the meeting is over, you suddenly realize that you could have said something to them about when they asked a specific question to you, right? And that happens to almost all of us, and that's primarily because we don't have an internal knowledge base, right? And so if that can happen to you while you are the living and breathing founder of your agency, if that happens to you, imagine how many times would it happen to your salesperson, or the person who's your account manager, the person who's generating your leads, right? And so you want to give clarity to your team. You want to create an internal knowledge base. This might sound like over preparing, but it is super important, right? If your sales team should never be left without an answer. And so don't take this as a project. What you could do, instead of taking it as a project with a start and a finish timeline, what you could do is that every time that you have a meeting with a prospect, identify what were the new questions asked and identify what were the best answers that you've given, and then just keep on documenting them, right? And so slowly and gradually over a period of a couple of months or a couple of quarters, you will have developed an internal knowledge base or a system as well that you could share with your potential or future salespeople as well. The second is creating assets. It's important to remember that whenever a prospect is talking to you, they are not just talking to you, they are talking to at least 4 other vendors, right? And so since they're talking to 4 other vendors, you don't want to delay anything even by a little amount of time, right? So you want to have all the assets, everything completely ready to be sent at a moment's notice. And so understand what questions your prospects or potential leads are going to have around assets. So they could ask for case studies, they could ask for, you could send them some proof in terms of testimonials or videos. You could send across your deck which talks about the services that you offered. You could send across your portfolio in terms of what previous work that you've done, and identify all those different types of assets. You could have a collection of references ready, so that whenever in the meeting if the client says that, hey, put me in touch with someone that you worked with before, right after the meeting you are able to send out an email connecting those references as well. So figure out what are some of the key frequently asked questions as far as assets are concerned, and then keep all of those assets ready. This may sound like something that is super obvious, but most agency founders and freelancers don't actually have it ready with them. And you want to reduce your turnaround time. You want to reduce the time that it takes for someone to go from your prospect to your paying customers. And so doing all of these things quickly is a much better way to go about it. The third thing is to have processes in place, right? So if you have 3 or 4 different services that you're offering, and those could be the services that are being offered to different types of clients, different sizes of clients, and those could be at a different price point, obviously at a different profit margin as well. And so all of those permutations and combinations that you could have, you don't necessarily want to follow the same process or the same pipeline, because their buyer journey is going to be very different. So, as an example, if someone is going to procure services north of 50,000 US dollars from you versus someone who's going to procure services anywhere around $500, their purchase journey is very different. The decision making process is very different. The evaluation of vendors is very different. The amount of meetings and the inputs that they take is also very different. And so figure out what are the processes that you need in place, and use free tools like draw.io or miro.com to create those processes and funnels, and kind of guide them through the process of decision making. The whole game. So again, all three of the points that I've said, right? So all the 3 points: number one, giving clarity to your team; number two, creating assets; and number three, which is having your processes in place. All three of them actually start applying once you start generating leads, right? Because the reason why I'm talking about the phases before starting to generate leads, and a little bit after starting to generate leads, and the reason why I'm spending some amount of time over here, is that most people don't prepare for generating leads, and they just start generating leads and they lose a lot of time and energy, and waste a lot of amount of money in lead generation activities as well, and they don't have great closure rates. Now we'll talk about some of the basic systems for lead generation. And so I'm not going to spend time talking about cold calling and social media pages and digital ads and referrals and content and mass emails and events. So all of these things are fairly simple. They are fairly quick, understood. Everyone has spoken about it. And so some of the systems that you absolutely obviously need to have in place are going to be cold calling and social media pages and digital ads and referrals and so on and so forth. What I really want to talk about are these 6 things, right? So these 6 things which will help you generate leads, right? These are the actual hacks. And so again, I just go back one slide and I make sure that you understand that cold calling, social media pages, digital ads, referrals, creating content around questions that your potential clients have, doing mass emails by generating lists and sending out email blasts, attending event and networking with the community. All of these things you should do, right? So you must do all of these things just to make sure that people think that you're alive, right? However, these are some of the hacks that we want to talk about, and we'll go through each of these 6 one by one in the session that we have today. So the first is disproportionate growth, right? So you want to find partners who serve your target market, right? So identify other agencies who are not directly competing with you, but are offering services that are tangential to yours or that are ancillary to yours. A lot of times, even your competitors are good people to collaborate with, because what might end up happening is that some salesperson in that agency is going to overpromise, and that agency is going to underdeliver. And at that point of time, they will need to save face, and they'll need to outsource some amount of work that they have as well. And so what you want to do is you want to identify partners which could look like they are your competitors, but they are not. And definitely you want to identify partners who are offering ancillary services. So as an example, as an IT agency, we would often partner up with digital marketing agencies, because as soon as someone built their SaaS product, they would want to have some sort of digital marketing services for management of the social media page or SEO, or whatever the case may be. And similarly, as soon as someone came to them for digital marketing around their Instagram, around their Facebook, or whatever the case may be, they would need an app to be built or app to be developed, because they were just doing proof of concept by investing some amount in ads and seeing what the interest of their market is, right? And so you want to find partners, and please don't think of other agencies as competitors, right? There's more work than all agencies in the world could handle. The market is very, very big. and competitors can exist very peacefully. They can charge whatever they are charging, and they can do good quality work. A lot of the agencies who work together, they are competitors to each other on paper, but they collaborate really well and serve the client well, and they get more and more projects in the future as well. The second is thought leadership, right? You want to make sure that your prospects look up to you and they are not looking at you, right? So make sure that your blogs, your social media pages, your deck, all of those things position you as a thought leader, as a person who talks about how these problems can be solved. So as an example, if my agency is offering SEO as a service, then I would have my LinkedIn and my blog and my pitch deck and all of those places completely filled with my speaker engagements and with my ideas around SEO, with some cases that show how positive results I have brought for my clients and so on and so forth, right? So you want to be positioned as a thought leader in the industry that your target market exists in, or in the industry that your target market hangs out in, right? And the other reason why the thought leadership thing works is because when you are a thought leader, your prospects don't look at you as a salesperson. They look at you as a doctor or as a consultant. And so you always look down on a salesperson, but you always look up to a doctor, right? And so you want to be that doctor, you want to be that consultant, and the only way that you can acquire that position in this equation, or acquire or come from that position of power in this equation, is by positioning yourself as a thought leader, right? Some would argue that that is exactly what I am also trying to do right now. And so I practice what I preach, and that's something that I'm also doing at this point of time, live in front of you. The other thing is offer free things to your clients, right? And by this, I don't mean that you should take a loss. I don't mean that you should spoil the habit of your clients by doing additional work or doing extra work. But what you want to do is you want to offer a small aspect of your service completely for free that you know for a fact would lead to a bigger order. So I'll give you another example of something that we used to do when we were an IT agency, was that we would offer audits of their infrastructure, right? So if they were hosted on AWS, or if they were hosted on Google Cloud Platform, or if they were using Microsoft Azure, we would offer a free audit of their cloud infrastructure. And so what that would do is that would allow me to get on a call with their engineering team, with their DevOps team, with their chief information officer. We would sign an NDA. So we would be already enrolled as their vendor, who's not charging anything, by the way, who's not going to raise an invoice, but we get to become a part of their ecosystem. Sometimes even the agency who was working on their cloud infrastructure would also be put in touch with us, right? And so I would become a part of the ecosystem, the walled garden that my prospect would have. I'd become a part of that, and then we'd look at their infrastructure and then offer them genuine recommendations, right? So we'll tell them, hey, these are some of the services that you could buy, these are some of the services that you could stop, these are some of the changes in the database structure that you could make that will help you run more efficiently, give you better uptime, and so on and so forth. And that is a service we would offer completely for free, and that would help us build trust with them. That would help them invest almost nothing, but then get to know us really well, and that would put our foot in the door of their ecosystem that they had. And so you could figure out, if you're offering SEO services, you could do SEO audits. If you're a consultant, you could offer a 30-minute free consultation call and try and understand what their challenges are and offer very quick, off the top of your head solutions to them, right? And so offer these some free things to hook them in, to bring them in, get on a call with them for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and then build trust with them. It's super important that you don't say to them when you are doing this, right? So you want to make sure that you are very, very clear, genuine, and honest, not appearing to be honest, not appearing to be genuine, but absolutely and truly genuine and honest. So think of it this way. If you were offering this small aspect of service, and if your father, for some reason, or if a very close relative that you had were looking for a similar service, then how would you behave, right? So exactly the same tone, exactly the same behavior with this potential client as well. The fourth is practice consultation over sales, right? So understand their problems and then offer. So once you have some amount of contact or connect with a lead, warm up all of your conversations with perspective of offering solutions instead of selling your services. And you will also realize that a lot of times the solution that you are supposed to offer or the solution that you're offering does not necessarily agree or does not necessarily fall under the services that you are offering as well. So the solution that you're offering is not equal to the service that you are offering as well, and so that's okay. Consultative sales very seldom gives you short term returns, but it has exponential long term returns, right? So when you look at trying to understand, where is the client today, where does the client want to go, and what is stopping them from getting there, right? So when during your sales process or during when you're having a conversation with your prospect, when you try to understand these three things, right? So where are they today, where do they want to go, what is stopping them from getting there, then that builds a rapport with your prospect and with your leads as well, and they suddenly realize that, hey, he's not talking about his services or she's not talking about their services, they're just trying to understand my challenge and my problem, and so I am the center of this conversation and not them, right? And so get them to speak 80-90% of time, ask them open-ended questions. The fifth one is bringing in automation, right? Integrate each and every tool that you're using. Another mistake that we did when we were starting out as an IT agency was that we did not really consider people and their time as the amount of capital that was being invested. We only looked at the amount of subscription bills that we had and the amount of payments that we were making for all the softwares that we had, right? And so make sure that you or your salespeople don't spend time updating your CRM. The CRM is there to help you do a better job. You are not there to fill in all the data in your CRM. So automate as many workflows as possible and take a long-term view, right? So invest in activities that will offer higher ROI in the long term, right? So offer partnership to your clients in order to offer your services at cost. They could do a significant amount of investment. You could also make significant amount of investment in the project that you're working on, but you always want to take a long term view when you are having conversations. And the other quick thing that you should always remember is that you don't need to be everywhere, right? You want to do all the 5 6 things in terms of just being present on social media, going to the events and networking, being part of communities, and you want to become a thought leader, and you want to offer resources for free, and you want to do all of those things. The goal of doing 15 things at once is to figure out what is working for you. Once you figured out that these are the things that are working for you, once you know that these are the things that are working for you, then you only want to double down on those 2 or 3 things, right? Because again, remember, you are you are restricted by the amount of resources that you have and not by the amount of leads that you can generate. And so you only want to double down on the systems that are working for you. You don't want to waste time on all the other channels that you have as well. Now, as I promised to you, I also want to share with you some completely free resources, which are centralized, curated, and free resources to help you and your agency grow, fulfill, and earn. So you could head over to clientjoy.io/universe, and you'll be able to get 150 plus cold email templates, 300 plus Excel sheet templates, 700 plus PPT templates, 420 plus social media post ideas, 100 plus invoice templates, and 10 other completely free resources. Just head over to clientjoy.io/universe, identify the resource that you want, put in your email address, and it will be sent out to you over the email right away. Right? I just want to take a couple of minutes and talk about how ClientJoy can help you reduce your turnaround times by 18% and improve your conversion rate by 10% as well. So turnaround times, as I've already shared with you, is the amount of time it takes for your prospect to go from being a prospect to making their first payment, all the steps that are involved, completely journeying through your sales pipeline, receiving your documents, estimates, quotes, and proposals, signing them, and then receiving the invoice and making them. Client really helps you reduce your turnaround times in that as well. So the first thing that ClientJoy does is helps you manage your sales pipeline. It's completely customizable, and you make sure that you never let opportunities fall through the cracks with a completely visual sales pipeline. You can create and send email sequences. These are cold email sequences that will consistently keep on reaching out to your prospects until they respond to your email. You can get your quotes, proposals, contracts, and estimates e-signed. You can send templatized yet impactful proposals to your clients. You can have a completely custom client portal to work with clients, so you stop writing emails to show progress. So you can embed with more than 1,000 plus apps if you're using Airtable for your content calendar, and if you're using Google Data Studio for tracking analytics, and if you're using Loom for video communication, if you're using Canva for your designs, and Figma for your UI UX. You can embed all of those things in your client portal, and again, it runs on your domain. It carries your custom JavaScript, it carries your custom CSS, it carries your logo in your color scheme as well. So from your client standpoint, it's a completely custom client portal that you've built for them. You can manage clients and activities in ClientJoy as well. You make sure that you always get paid on time, because you can raise one time, split, or recurring invoices with payment links. You can also create subscriptions if you're using Stripe. And you can schedule automated reminders, so you have to stop following up manually for your payments as well. And so the fundamental philosophy that we at ClientJoy believe in is that sum of parts is greater than parts of the sum. So if you're using two or three or four different softwares to manage your clients or run and grow your agency, for your sales CRM, for an invoicing, or for your e-signing of your documents, or for even for getting booked by your leads and prospects and clients, instead of that, just move to ClientJoy. It's available for $149 per user for life, right? So no subscription costs, everything unlimited. If you have any questions, do let me know. In the meantime, you could join the community that we run. It has 1,600 plus agency owners and freelancers at facebook.com/groups/clientjoy. That is where these 1,600 people have conversations about acquiring and retaining clients for life. And you can also check out the Agency Show podcast on anchor.fm/clientjoy, the Agency Show, which is where we get founders of agencies and freelancers who've been there, done that, and talk about the challenges that they faced in across their growth, fulfillment, revenues, and how they fixed those challenges as well. That's almost everything that I had. If you want to purchase ClientJoy, you can always use the code download silo and get 15% off. It applies on all plans as of now, and it'll apply to all the future purchases that you make as well. Again, the code is download silo and you get 15% off. That's pretty much it, Albert, from my side. I'd be happy if there are any questions as far as lead generation is concerned. I'd be happy to answer them as well.
Thank you, Yas. So this is another what I call a very nice presentation by Yas. So it's actually educational, for those who are actually doing lead generation. Every time I attend his what they call webinar series, so I learn something. So maybe I should say that what I've actually learned. There are three things that I have learned. First thing that it says that you have to plan and prepare. Nothing happen by chance. So if you fail to plan, you're actually planning to fail. So in my opinion, I think that is something that everybody should know. Uh, why you cannot get your leads? Because sometimes you don't plan it well. That's why
Yeah,
all your strategy goes wrong.
yeah,
Okay, he has actually what I call highlighted three things that you can do for any people who want to get some leads. So partner with some people who actually something like your disproportionate partners. For example, myself, I don't compete with him, so I'm also his partner. In the sense that I
yeah,
bring audience to him to show his webinar, to show his project, his what they call
yeah,
lifetime deal. So, and second thing is become a top leader. Basically, is to actually build out your own reputation, say where people will actually look up at you rather than look at you. So when you have a so-called maybe we have this lead generation topic, or maybe as a CRM topic, we always say, yeah, Yas is the person who actually can do it. Who actually can be consulted. So this is something that he actually walk his talk. And the
yeah,
last thing is offering something free in return. But here we don't actually offering something that is small value over here, because every time he do a webinar, he give at least one LTD. This is something very blessed for him.
Yeah.
So this is something that reinforce my learning process as well. So this is something, the 3 points that I actually get. And the other things are actually like automation and all these things are actually in the details on how to do it in details. So guys, so I think this is a very good education system, and we should go into our live chat and see what are the questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Let me see what are the questions. There are so many questions now. Okay. Let's answer this first.
May I know
Yeah.
how long this offer stands? Oh, hey, Ruhani, thank you for this question. So, I'm not yet ready to put a timeline on this. There's some amount of time for the offer that we have. So, I'm not a person who's going to say, hey, get it now, or you'll never be able to get it in the future, or I'm not that kind of a person. So, you have some time, Ruhani, to evaluate ClientJoy, make sure that this works for you. Take your time, just be absolutely clear. So you can sign up to ClientJoy. It will already give you 14 days of trial, and then if you purchase ClientJoy, you also have 30-day of no questions asked return, right? So even if you end up signing up today, you still have 45 days to evaluate client join your business and so on and so forth. However, here's I'd like to kind of share with you our thought process, right? So that in principle can answer this question. So our thought process primarily is that at client join, you started moving from lifetime deals to monthly recurring. And so you will see that branding plus of white labeling package that we had on $49 of monthly of lifetime, just I think about a week ago, is now available at $9 per month, and slowly and gradually we'll be moving user licenses to monthly recurring as well. So it's not going to be a direct shift from LTD to MRR. We'll shift. If you want more than five users, you have to go for MRR. If you want more than three users, and then each and every user will go for MRR. So there's some amount of time, Ruhani, for that to happen. And even if you sign up today, you have 45 days to evaluate ClientJoy without losing anything. So yeah, so that's a quick answer to that. I'll not say that, hey, get it now or you'll never get it in the future, and this is the best thing to happen to you or something like that.
Yeah, because basically there are so many competitor in the market,
Yeah,
right? So it's always there, So I mean, yes, and ClientJoy is not going away anytime soon.
yeah.
Okay, let's move on to some of the comment. Also, maybe this I'm not sure who is this guy because he didn't put his name. It's the ClientJoy is
Okay.
great. So thank
Hey,
you.
thank you. Some amount of anonymous, love is great. Justin says my client Joy has been collecting dust for a long time. Well, it's time for you to clean up that dust and get it started. Yeah, this session is very helpful in greasing my wheels to drive back in. Yeah, you should absolutely drive back in. We have built a lot of things since you must have. But just I know I remember you. I think Justin has been with us since ClientJoy was called Griddle, right? So since very very early on, basically, he's been with us, and so please, Yash is a star. Oh my God, thank you, Faz. He's building a lot of equity with his great educational webinars and learning lots. Hey, thanks, yeah, thank you for the kind words. Today is that kind of a day for me, Albert. I tell you why, because this is something that I'm not going to post about anywhere, but it is a live and it's happening in a private community, so I feel comfortable to share. Today, I woke up to a message on LinkedIn from Dharmesh Shah. Now, you may ask, who is Dharmesh Shah? Dharmesh is founder and CTO of HubSpot. And so he wrote a message on LinkedIn to me saying, super happy to see the progress of ClientJoy, and just wishing us success. And so that's why I'm not able to stop smiling today, right? Because when founder of a $2 billion in annual revenue company kind of reaches out to you, and says, a good progress on ClientJoy, it's something that's helpful. So yeah, Indrajit says very nice. Hey, thank you, Indrajit. for saying that. Glad to see you again. The first and most popular question is how much time would it take to get leads? And so, in the Preet, it depends, Mr. Singh, on the kind of leads that you're looking to generate and the kind of services that you're offering. And so, as an example, I would say that if you're offering low ticket services, which you hope to sell to a large number of people, then that is something that should happen typically quickly. So you should have an engine rolling within anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks, sort of a time frame where you are able to at least start seeing some amount of results on the experiments that you're doing, and then you are trying to optimize whatever part of the funnel that is not completely optimized. However, if you're doing big ticket sales, then depending on the kind of work that you've done previously and the kind of services that you are selling, the first few leads could take anywhere between 15 days to maybe 2 months for them to become serious and have a proper conversation with you. Why leads are not converting, although they themselves pitch audiences, they refuse to change anything, like their similar way of pitching only. And then I think there should be some more to it.
Yeah, you have to look at the
Okay,
chat
just
there. To
okay. Let me try and find that. Yeah, okay. Why leads are not converting, although they themselves pitch audiences, they refuse to change anything. Like their similar way of pitching, only presentation, not clearing doubts of audience. What should be done? What should be done then? And so, so see, I'll tell you what. So if leads are not converting, then you want to start running experiments, right? So first thing that you want to do is, as soon as you lose a sale, you ask for honest feedback, right? So you reach out to the person who's now moved on from evaluating you as a vendor and ask them and be vulnerable in front of them, right? So tell them that, hey, I'm just starting out this business and I'd love to get on a call with you for 5 minutes so that you can tell me what I did wrong so that I can get better at my business. A lot of times you would be talking to owners of other businesses who realize the degree of uncertainty that you are going through, right? And they'd be open and they'd be happy to help you out. So that's the first thing, right? So listen to them and try and figure out how you can add that. The second thing that you can do is you can start running different experiments. And the third thing that I strongly recommend you to do is that you should also want to learn from your peers, right? So look at so go to events, network, but also get your peers to pitch to you, right? And so see what are the things that they are emphasizing on, see what are the things that they kind of shrug under, see the kind of assets that they have. I'm not talking about just copy pasting their processes or copy pasting the things that they are doing, but genuinely try and understand the process that they have deployed and what is working for them, right? And so I strongly would recommend that get your competitors. So figure out a way in which your competitors would pitch to you for the services that you are going out there in the market. So another quick thing that I should also add is that when we were figuring out the process, when we were figuring out the process for demoing ClientJoy, we got on demos of at least 15 different CRMs, right? And so we tried to understand what were the questions that they were asking, how were they qualifying us, what are the parts of the software that they are showing, what were the how did they come to find us, what was the kind of research that they did before they got on a call with us, how many different people interacted with us from the time that we started our inquiry to the time that we paid them our first dollar, right? And so you want to understand what's working for other people as well. So these three key things: ask for honest, genuine, and open feedback from the people who not converted. Second, start running experiments in terms of the services that you're offering. And third, understand what's working for your competitors.
Thank you. So this is the next question.
There always comes a phase when customer acquisition stagnates, right? Google Ads, SEO don't work enough. Then what should be done then? So if the customer acquisition is stagnant, then I think we've had this conversation probably a little before. So one common answer is that you should ask for referrals from your existing clients, and they should be willing and happy to put you in touch with at least 2 or 3 people who may not convert anytime soon, but they should be happy to put you in touch with 2 or 3 potential clients as well. The other thing that I should also mention is that if Google Ads and SEO is like for, okay, let me just frame this sentence. So the working or the success of Google Ads and SEO is not a function of how many clients you have. So at any point of time, if you're not able to get people via Google Ads and SEO, it is not because the number of clients that you have is stagnating and hence those acquisition funnels are not working. There's something that is fundamentally wrong in those acquisition funnels for your business, and so you want to evaluate other acquisition funnels for yourself as well. So what I would recommend you to do is sit down and make a list of things, right? So here's the list of things that you make, right? So identify where do your leads go to do following activities. So where do your leads or prospects go to learn? Is it Quora, YouTube courses, listening to podcasts, attending webinars? Where does your prospect go to grow? Is it gig platforms? Is it whatever the case may be, right? So I tell you for ClientJoy, right? So for ClientJoy, where does our prospect go to explore? They go to product hunt, beta list, AppSumo, newsletter subscriptions. Where do our prospects go to connect? They connect on LinkedIn. They are part of agency communities on Facebook, Slack, and Telegram. Where do our prospects go about to make decisions for their agency? They do it on spreadsheets or they do it on search engines and search for answers to questions that they have. Where do they pass their time? Social media. Where do they shop for their business? They shop for icons, photos, templates, and tools. Where do they showcase or create a portfolio? They do it on Dribble, Behance, Clutch, Good Forms. And so these are all the places where these 8 9 activities are done by our prospects or our customers. And so we have a list of these. And so then what we do is we try and figure out a way of working with them. So with Albert and this community, this is a mode of us partnering up. And then I have a different mode of partnering up with Dribble, and I have a different mode of partnering up with AppSumo, and I have a different mode of partnering up on YouTube. And so identify what acquisition channel works for you. Right? That's what I'd say.
Okay. So next question is slightly different. How do you compare with Asana and Monday?
Great question. Yeah. So Asana and Monday is okay. So Asana is a project management system. Monday is a project management system or a collaboration platform. Plus, they just recently came up with the CRM aspect of sales CRM aspect of it. And then there's ClientJoy. And all these three of them are fundamentally different softwares, right? So Asana is something that we've used for years, and I'd strongly recommend you to check it out for your project management requirements as well. If you have a little complicated than Trello or something like that. Monday is again a great collaboration platform. You have an alternative of that from the LTD community called Start Infinity, which is not an LTD anymore, but great founder, great team, great product. You should try it out. Monday has recently come out with a CRM offering as well, which is again something that you should check it out. If you're looking for a sales CRM, it's a good product. It's genuinely a nice product. ClientJoy, on the other hand, and obviously I'm biased when I'm giving you this answer, but ClientJoy is a client. Is we say it's a CRM, but it's actually a client management system, right? So from prospect to payment. So there are things that you'll be able to do on ClientJoy that you won't be able to do on Monday, and obviously there are things that you'll be able to do in Asana that you'll not be able to do in ClientJoy as well. So managing your sales pipeline is something that you could do on Monday and ClientJoy as well. But offering a client portal, sending out documents for e-signing, your proposals, quotes, estimates, sending out your invoices with payment links, automated reminders, cold emails. Like cold email sequences, Monday also has. Booking engine they don't have, and so these are some of the things that ClientJoy has that Monday doesn't have. But yeah, so that's kind of a little bit around each of them. But it's again obviously the fact that you are mentioning ClientJoy in the same breath as Asana and Monday, it just added to my smile as well. So thank you for doing that. Sar says thank you, a lot of valuable insights. Hey, thank you here. I try to do my best and improve a little bit every time that I do it as well. So is the ClientJoy.io/universe a part of lead generation? HM Shuja, yes, absolutely. As I shared with you, I practice what I preach. And so when I say that you should offer free services, this is my way of offering free small resources. And so you give me your email address and then you become part of a drip sequence. You'll receive non-irritating emails every 2 weeks, which will help you become a better agency owner and a freelancer. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe to it right away. But over a period of time, you will slowly be warmed up to the idea, and it happens over 3 months to 4 months. you'll slowly be warmed up to the idea of signing up to ClientJoy and then giving it a spin as well. But yeah, it is a part of lead generation for us. Ruhani says, I'm moving out from Flowlu and looking for this for a while. It was difficult to back up Flowlu. Do you offer backup data in some type of format? So, Ruhani, if at any point of time we are not able to work together and you want to move out of ClientJoy, we will export all of your data and then hand it over to you in whatever format that works for you. Typically, it is CSV or XLSX. But yeah, so whatever format that you want, we export and then offer it to you.
Okay, so thank you. I think Rohani is actually going to buy that. Okay.
Fingers crossed. Chaitanya says, would love to see webinar on automating everything using ClientJoy and third-party integrations. Chaitanya, I'll tell you what. Thank you for mentioning this. But and if you want to see a webinar on that, I will do that in ClientJoy's community. And the reason why I should not do that as a part of Albert's community is because a lot of people over here are not ClientJoy customers. And so if I'm showing the software and if I'm doing automation within the software, it's something that is not relevant or valuable to most people who are part of Albert's community. The 1600 people that we have as a part of ClientJoy community, however, all of them are our customers. And so everything that we do in ClientJoy, we can show it off over there. So I take this as a requirement. We'll do a Wednesday webinar. So we'll do a Wednesday webinar on automating everything using ClientJoy. But over here, it's unfair, to be honest, to a lot of people who are a part of Albert's community, right? So Josefa says, impressive. Hey, thanks, Josefa, for getting impressed. Trying my level best. Can we still have branding or white labeling or CNAME? It's not a deal breaker thing. Just you can, yeah, for sure. You're saying on white label. Unfortunately, no. So it's available for $9 a month. And I'll tell you what, your brand, Ruhani, is worth more than $9 a month. And so just rub ClientJoy off from everywhere and you'll be able to do that. But unfortunately, offering that on live is something that's difficult for us to do, because slowly and gradually we are moving towards making ClientJoy more sustainable as well.
Okay, this is the comment from Anush Kale, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, so AK, thanks. Yeah, that's the same formula as well, how we plan to shift from LTD to MRR. But yeah, Fa says, are all these strategies buying into ClientJoy, something like digitalfirst.ai, which is growth hacking and planning platform? But just wait one
It
second.
doesn't have any actual deliverable features.
Features. Yeah. So as no, so it's not necessary. So okay. So my goal of doing these live sessions is not to share with you all the capabilities of ClientJoy and then pass them off as a valuable insight or a webinar. So ClientJoy as a product and the insights that I delivered to you in the session today have nothing to do with each other. The insights that I shared with you today are some of the things that I have learned running the IT service agency and scaling it from 2 people to 55 people team. We use some of those strategies at ClientJoy as a business, but within ClientJoy as a product, there's no necessary connection between those two, right? And so these are just webinars and sessions that I love to do with the community, because I've acquired some amount of understanding and insight, and my goal is as I shared in the first half of this conversation, that our goal at ClientJoy is to help 1 million agencies and freelancers grow, fulfill, and earn. We can help 1 million agencies and freelancers grow, fulfill, and earn via our product, but it's not necessary that we only do it with our product. We can also do it with these sessions and then YouTube videos and resources and all of those things as well. HM Shuja says, do you think email marketing is the slowest way for cold outreach? No, I don't think so. So I think we have another session which we'll be doing next month, which might be on cold email outreach. And so which is where I talk about the complete setup, starting from warming up your emails to the certifications that you should have, to the strategy that you should deploy in terms of your copy and subject and all of those, the complete cold email marketing setup or cold email outreach setup. That is something that we'll do in this community, I think first Monday of next month. And so when we do that, I'll talk about it, but it is not the slowest way at all. So when we started off, we did cold email. We still do some amount of cold email outreach as well, and by far it is the best performing for us. It's a different thing altogether that we do cold outreach for affiliates, for like not for ClientJoy customers, but to get affiliates who will spread the word about ClientJoy. But no, it's not the slowest way for cold outreach for sure.
Okay, so let's move to the next question. Oh, this is I don't know who asked
In
it.
case HubSpot takes over ClientJoy, do you support the LTD? So I tell you this, I don't think HubSpot will take over ClientJoy because HubSpot is a very big platform, and ClientJoy is very small in front of the things that they have. But in case if anything like that happens, right? So we are acquired or anything like that, we have rejected acquisition offers previously, for both ClientJoy as well as LinkJoy. Three offers that came in super serious, and kind of came very close to actually win. However, those didn't happen because of a couple of things. One of them, so there were three primary reasons why those deals didn't go through. One of them was that they were not willing to support the LTD. They were not willing. They were willing to let the LTD people have the plans that they have and access to the functionality, but they were not willing to do the support, right? And so like the support of answering questions and helping out people when they're stuck in the software. So they were not willing to do that. So that was one of the reasons, one of the three reasons why some of those acquisition did not go through. So we've been through that road before. We won't get acquired unless we are sure that the accounts would be honored, not just in features, but also in terms of every benefit that comes along with it. Yeah.
Okay,
Are the
so
plans to integrate with N365? Okay. I don't know what is N. I think they mean Microsoft Office 365. We already integrate with Office 365. I hope that's what you mean. We already integrate with Microsoft Office 365. We at ClientJoy use Office 365, and my OneDrive, Calendar, Outlook, all of that's connected with ClientJoy.
okay,
I always
of
assumed
course.
ClientJoy was more similar to Plutio, Swell, Xyz, Sootdash, and I'm embarrassed to say that I've never taken the time to seek out the differences. Justin, I'll tell you what, and you are fairly correct. If you look at the way that Plutio, Swell, Xyz, Sootdash are set up and how ClientJoy is set up, you'll find more similarities than differences. But ultimately, the point that it comes down to is not that which product has more features. I'll tell you Sootdash has more features than ClientJoy. I'll also tell you that Plutio has also some more features than ClientJoy. We also have some more features than Plutio in some cases, but Sootdash hands down has more features than ClientJoy in all aspects of the product, right? To be honest, but it's not just about the features. To be to be very candid with you, we've seen like the best products that exist out there in the world are not the best because they have more features, but it is because people like using those softwares. And we've had some people who've converted from Sootdash to ClientJoy, and that's been their consistent experience. Tuhin says, I have been implementing and customizing CRM for 12 years now. What aspects, in your opinion, ClientJoy is different? Some typical use cases where CJ is different? Yeah, Tuhin. So at ClientJoy, the way that we are thinking about it is the way that we are thinking about ClientJoy is that here's where we want to be 5 years down the line, right? So if you want to start a D2C brand, right? So let's say if you want to start a brand that offers customized T-shirts or iPhone cases or furniture or something like that, the first thing that comes to your mind is Shopify. I mean, it could be Shopify, WooCommerce, or Magento or something like that, but that's what comes to your mind, right? That is primarily what we want to be for agencies and freelancers. So 5 years from now, whenever someone wants to start freelancing or whenever someone wants to start an agency or a consulting practice, the first thing that comes to their mind is ClientJoy. And we want to reach there by building resources, by doing videos, by sharing our knowledge, by building an amazing product that helps people run their agency and freelancing better, right? So the thing that is different about the other thing that I should also add is that I firmly believe that different is not always better. And so we are looking at building a better platform that is specifically built for agency and freelancing use case, rather than building a software that can be used by a pharma company and a university and construction firm. So we're not looking to build that kind of a software that can be used by any business. We're building specifically for agencies and freelancers, and you'll be able to find those little nuances when you start using ClientJoy as well. But it would be cool if you build in a recommendation engine into ClientJoy for all the strategies that you share. So fast thanks for saying that. So if you go into ClientJoy, you will see in the header, you will see this called Universe. And so if you click on Universe, you will see this thing called the Agency Advocate. We've just started out that effort. We've done about 8 videos thus far, averaging about 7-8 minutes, which is where we talk about specific aspect of growth for agencies and freelancers. We'll be pushing forward in that direction as well fast, but great that both of us are on the same page as far as this is concerned. Bill says, does it work in French with French accounting rules? No, it does not yet. Not yet. We're too small to be able to do that. But and I cannot say that we will do it soon because this is not really close on the roadmap at this point of time as well. We have a lot of other things that we have on the roadmap. You can, by the way, check it out on updates.clientjoy.io, the things that we have on our roadmap as well. Rohani says, can I ask how many guest users allowed, since the 149 plan includes only one member? So there are no necessarily guests allowed. You can, when you, if by guests you mean clients, then clients are unlimited. So whether you have 1 user, 10 user, 15 user, you can add unlimited number of clients on all plans of ClientJoy. But if you mean guests as in your own team members, then all of them come with a separate sort of a license. Or you can, if you're okay, you can share licenses between team members as well. That's completely up to you. Tuhin Kumar says, will you have a partnering model like most of the CRMs in the marketplace? Yes, we would. Don't only would, we already have. We've not yet structured it out to be put out in public, but we have about 7 partners and resellers who we have sold licenses to, and then they do implementations and coaching along with that. So these are most of these are agency coaches, and so for all those 7 resellers and partners that we have, we've sold them licenses who they then go and implement for their clients as a part of their program, right? So that's something that we already have. We've not formalized it, but we do have. Do reach out to me or Tanmay from our team, who must already be joining in here. And then my one issue is not being able to embed the client portal in other apps like Go High Level. Okay, you want to embed client portal of ClientJoy in other apps. Okay, that's Faz, I'll have a separate conversation with you about this. I don't have an answer to this. It should be embeddable, but I'll get back to you on this. I don't have an answer for this at this point of time.
Okay.
Do you have packages? Okay, Rafael. So we don't, but I'm happy to say that we will very soon. This is one of the most requested features that we have on our idea board, which is again public on updates.clientjoy.io. And we will. So what I'm assuming is that what you mean is when you're sending out a proposal or an estimate, you can put in like a bronze, silver, gold, platinum, different packages of your services that your clients can then click on it and then apply for themselves and sign it and then pay for it. If that is what you mean, we have this on our roadmap and we'll get this out fairly quickly.
Yes, you have answered all the question except 1 or 2 which is not so relevant. Okay. So you should do the giveaway. What is your question now? Okay, maybe this.
My question, you mean?
Hold on. Let me let you answer this question first.
Sure. Mohan says, how openly can someone manage the lead outreach campaigns? Can it process complex mathematical conditions for any actions? If you're talking about ClientJoy, then I mean, ClientJoy does not support processing of complex mathematical conditions for those actions. The outreach campaign that we have is cold email sequencing, which is very simple, which is where you can enroll up to 500 leads per day. And it will send out emails from your email account. So it will mimic your as if you are sending out those emails. And I'll send out a sequence of 4, 5, 10, 12 emails until the prospect responds. So it's not, we're not like an AI complex mathematical sort of we're very, very simple people. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So no, we don't have that. And Mohan, we don't plan to do that anytime soon as well, just to be clear.
Yeah, I think we have answered most of the question, except those are not relevant. And now it's time for you to choose the winner of the LTD giveaway. So, what is your question you want to ask?
Oh, so here's a question that I'd love to know. So, like, this is just one of the things that I've asked before as well. And what should be what should be the topic of our next live that we have on the Monday, on the first Monday of next month, which is January, which is I think 2nd of January, right? So we'll be welcoming the new year with some amount of wisdom and insights and healthy conversations. What should be the topic for that?
Yeah, guys, you have to put in your answer in the chat so that Yas will see which is the best, so-called best answer. Will get the LTD. Oh, I think you have to read on
Okay.
the live chat.
Yeah. Number one, what are all the agency services we can offer, your experiences, and what kind of future opportunities will be hot? Or two, different types of tools we can use to run an agency, CRM, email outreach, project management, etc. Fair. Pankaj says great SaaS. Okay. Uh, Cold emailing. Oh, there are 3, 4 people who are saying cold emailing, cold email outreach. HM Shuja says customer onboarding. How to use CRM to increase leads and proposal. So Faz, I think he missed the question. So the question is, what should be the session? What should be the topic of the conversation for next month? That's the question that I am asking. What is the burning question that you have that I should talk about next month? David says, how does the ClientJoy experience serve a small online crafting business? David, great question. I'd be happy to answer that in the chat. Not in the live as of now, but David, I'll get back to you. Personalizing cold email outreach, retargeting and handling client rejection, tutorial of cold email and SMS, getting started from scratch in agency work. Justin says in the tweet says how client behavior is important in tools because the client's behavior is important. Tools are for just traffic. Daniel says cold email top 10 tips. Mohan says what strategies would you recommend for cold email outreach, how an agency should approach its prospect and in what ways. Raphael says lead forms. Lead forms is also something that's coming by end of January, Raphael. So we'll have that in ClientJoy. Derek Gross says basic steps for campaigns from start to finish on ClientJoy. Derek will do a session for that separately in ClientJoy community, not in Albert's community. Faz says, oh, easy, how to create the ultimate customer journey. Oh, thanks, yeah. That's a great question. Twin says agency rocketing with ClientJoy, the only tool you need. Okay, got it. Agency growth versus survival plan in possible recession. Oh, that's a nice one. Bill says how to use ClientJoy in an everyday process. Oh, that's a question for me, but I'll again answer to you in comments. Azim says how it works for a freelancer. Again, I'll answer in comments. Twin says A to Z to land up your first set of clients with ClientJoy. Twin, thanks for that question as well. I think we've got some great questions. We've got recurring theme on cold emailing. I think that's I'd love to do a session on that as well. Mohan says how ClientJoy can save time and money and help the users make more money. Mohan, do check out our website for that. Derek says how to find marketing persona of my clients. Oh, awesome. Neil says how community of like-minded is game changer. As you say, automation behavior should be in ClientJoy community. Awesome. Chaitanya says how to value your services and do competitor analysis. How to use ClientJoy to take over the world, Daniel. Thank you for seeing that as a possibility, Daniel. DS Wong says integrate with funnel builder and email provider for automation. Okay, awesome.
Too many to choose.
Yeah, got a lot of topics. I mean, this is the best way because all of these awesome people of this community have given me content ideas for the next whole month, right? So we could do like we can only do one session next month. I mean the Monday of next month. But now I know what are some of the content pieces that I can work on during this month, right? MD Sadiqur Rahman says getting handling services, servicing and offer more and more with ClientJoy. Okay. Sar says different channels of outreach, email, phone call, social media. Got it. Nice. Great, yeah. So Albert, what do you think? How to market your marketing agency? Oh wow.
How to
Uh,
market your marketing agency.
yeah. So that's some inception level thing, right? So how to market your marketing agency? Difference between white label and brand. So that's the same, Rohit. Difference between white label and branding. There is no difference in those. That's the same. MD Sadiqur Rahman says getting, handling, servicing, and offering more and more with clients. I think I scrolled up by mistake. How can we gain client behavior as spending more on client and build a client for more time and LTV increase? Tuhin says, I think we can generalize outreach, acquisition, automation, and delivery with ClientJoy. Okay. How easy it is to use ClientJoy on mobile? It is fairly easy. We don't have everything that we have on the web on like all the features are not there on the phone, but it's fairly quick and easy. You get all the relevant notifications. You can update things about your leads and stuff like that. How to make a brand using ClientJoy? You'll not be able to make a brand, Mohan, using ClientJoy. Branding is a consistent exercise. It's a promise that you make and you consistently deliver on that promise, right? And so it's an exercise that happens outside of ClientJoy, with efforts of you and your team and in the minds of your prospect. And so ClientJoy is only a tool. It will not be able to help you make a brand. It can do some small little things, but it won't help you make a brand for sure. These are brilliant recommendations here, Albert. Learn client multiplier strategy with Yash. Hey, Indrajit, thank you. Yeah, thank you for saying that.
Multiplier, client multiplier strategy. What do you mean by
Yeah.
multiplier strategy?
I think what he means is building an MLM sort of a structure where each client gets you two more clients and then they get you two more clients. That's the
I see.
expectation. I think I'm not sure, but that's the multiplication, right? So
I mean, yeah, possible.
yeah, very difficult, but never say never.
So you have to scroll and see who is a which is the topic that you think is the best.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of people who want to learn more about cold emailing, and I'd love to kind of share a complete framework of cold emailing. And again, just to be clear, these are not the things that can happen with ClientJoy or without ClientJoy. These are just cold email frameworks, right? That you need to have. And I'd love to talk about them here. I'd love to talk about how you can warm up your emails, how you can do different experiments, how you can bring in your ICP, and how you can what are most important thing. That's something that I've realized is most people don't know what are the industry standard rates. What should be the deliverability rate? What should be the open rate? What should be the reply rate? Right, for different sort of campaigns that you're running. And so I'd love to share some industry standard numbers on those things as well. I think that's the one we could do. What do you think, Albert?
I don't know because I got confused now because too many of them. Because you should be the best judge because you know what you can tell, what you can actually share with the members, rather than me.
Yeah, I think we could do one on cold email outreach for sure.
Cold email.
Cold email outreach is the next session that we could do.
Who is the guy?
So there are 8 or 10 people who have said cold email as the topic, and
I saw
so
somebody say cold email outreach. This one? No. This is top 10 tips.
yeah. So I think Daniel also said cold email, And I think there's one more person who said cold email, which is yeah, Luke. Luke also said cold email. So which
Oh, this
who do you want to
Chaitanya
go ahead
also
with?
say, so many, 3%.
Chaitanya also said cold email. Yeah, three, four people said cold email. So how do we go about it?
No, you can choose one that you like.
Okay. Oh, that's difficult. I mean, what basis do I? So okay, let me find the first one who said cold email. I think that's a fair way
Yeah, I had to scroll
to
up
go
and
about
see
it.
whether
Yeah, in my I think if I'm saying
then
this
this
correctly, it
Taylor
started.
McKay,
Yeah, it may have been Taylor
you
McKay. I
saw that
think. Yeah.
Taylor McKay, but then it's oh Ansi
Just
Ankit.
oh no, there's Ankit Dikshit above that, and there's Daniel Croft at 8:36 p.m. I think if I'm seeing that correctly. Who's the first one
Daniel
to say
Croft.
cold email out? No, Daniel Kraft at 8:36. So if you just go up above Ankit Dikshit.
No, 8:36 is your time. My time will be, I think,
Oh, sorry. So like
8:30. It
five or
will be
six
11,
messages
right?
above
It will
Ankit.
be, yeah, 11. Let me
Got
check.
it. So I'd say five or six messages above Ankit.
This one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the first one.
Okay, congratulations, Daniel Croft. You are the winner of this today LTD, and we'll do the announcement and let you know how to get the LTD. So I think we have actually done a good session now, and let's move on to say goodbye. So before we
Sure.
actually end, I would like to say a big thank you to Yas one more time because he's always very enthusiastic, and also his webinar is actually what you call information, full of information and actually useful for us to use. So guys, if you think that he has done a good job, say something or maybe click emoji, you like it, you love it, or whatever you want to do, say hi or whatever. So show your appreciation.
Yeah, that means a lot. Yeah, that means a lot.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So yes, what you have to say, to the audience, because today you have
No,
quite a
I think
number of
this
people,
was
35, 36 people.
yeah, and so I just got the message, Ruhani, that we received a payment from you as well. And so thank you, Ruhani, for completing the purchase right there and then. You still have 45 more days to evaluate the product, but thank you for making the purchase. However, thank you everyone for joining in here. I try to share whatever I've learned, and thank you for these amazing questions and amazing suggestions for next sessions. Right, these are some of the things that I'll take in, and I'd also try and learn more so that I can structure the insights that I share with you. But we'll meet on, I think on 2nd of January is a Monday, and so I think we'll meet somewhere around then for a session on cold email outreach. Thank you again, everyone, for joining in, and have an awesome day. Right, love, laugh, live.
Okay, so I think that's all we have, guys. Thank you for your attendance. Today we have quite a number of people. About 40 people at one time. So
Yeah,
we'll see you again in the next year. January, first week of January.
yeah,
If nothing
yeah,
happen, we will go and schedule. Unless something happen, we have to change the schedule. So thank you guys
yeah.
again for your attendance, and also again, I would like to thank Yas. Yas is always very nice to host. He has a lot of information to share with us. Actually,
Absolutely. Yeah.
bye
Anytime.
bye.
For sure.